Another skill that Birthing Better Families developed in the early 70s was to really clearly understand what the birth roles were. I know that can sound like, oh yeah, well, we all know what they are, but honestly, we don't. Now, I gave birth in 1970 when we were all going to the hospital and we didn't have choices and there were no midwives in the US, but some people had home births. I immigrated to New Zealand in the 90s and midwives were the lead maternity carers for all births in New Zealand within a partnership model. So the experience in New Zealand between women and midwives is very different than your country, whatever country that is. But I want to be really clear what we learned as Birthing Better Families. There are 3 birth roles. The woman's the primary birth role, and we're doing the birth. And we have to get on with it. And what happens to us around us is what's happening to us around us. You're still doing the birth whether you like it or hate it, and using skills always will make it easier. And if you have a partner or someone else who's there with you, they should learn skills, and then you want to help your partner help you. That's what your role is. And it doesn't matter how you're giving birth to your baby, whether you're driving to the hospital, being prepped, lying on a table, being cut open, whether you labor and have a vaginal birth with tubes coming out of every hole, whether you're home alone, whether you're home with care providers, whether you have an unplanned cesarean, you're doing the birth, get on with it. What's happening to and around you is what's happening. You're doing the birth, whether you like it or hate it, so use skills because it'll make your job easier. The role of the other, the partner, is help the woman cope and manage, stay on top of and feel in control. And you do that by seeing and hearing. If she looks like she's not in control or she's losing control or she's feeling stressed, help her. So how do you help her? You become skilled. Build good verbal and nonverbal communication skills. No birth provider is ever going to stop you from helping her. They love it. They wish more couples were skilled. And being at a birth is both very intense and incredibly invigorating. And pride comes from doing it and doing it well together. And doing it well because you know how to help and when to help. And the memories are going to last a lifetime. And so is the impact of how you took on your role and your job and your task as a birth coach. The third role is a birth provider. And the job, whether it's an obstetrician, a general practitioner, or a midwife, is to safeguard mother and the baby. It is not their job to be your birth coach. And depending on their training, they will do assessments, monitoring, and procedures. And they will respond to whether you're coping or they feel you're suffering. Those are the 3 birth roles. When you are skilled as a woman, you will birth better. You will feel more empowered in your birthing. If you're a skilled birth coach and you really help the woman work through the activity of giving birth, no matter the type of birth it is or what's happening to her around her, you will feel more confident as a human being. She will appreciate it. She will acknowledge that you're helping her, and you will build on that relationship through the rest of your lives. Your birth provider, however, is a very, very temporary person. Even in New Zealand, that has continuity of care partnership, the postnatal period is for 6 weeks, and that's it. They're out of your life. So don't expect them to be your primary support person. You are your primary support person as a woman birthing, and your partner or other is your primary support person and coach, because the 2 of you together took a little bit of time over the last 15 weeks of pregnancy to learn skills and then use the skills as your birth unfolded. And that's what the 3 birth roles are all about.